What's up, brother?
Hi.
How's it going? Are you
Still?
expecting me?
I think so.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah,
What's up, dog?
we have 2 more coming up the stairs.
What's happening?
Appreciate you.
Love, of course.
Nice to meet you, big dog.
What's up, man? Splash. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yo, how you doing?
What's up with
My
you?
bad. Hold on. Splash. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Together.
My bad. My bad. I'm trying to. Yeah.
We do show with a bunch of love.
We got a lot of dudes right now, a lot of artists, got a lot of youngsters, a lot of kids. So, we like to give them the basis of what that time frame and age of.
Man, you know what's crazy? I never thought it would take me till 30 to make it. When you coming up, you always think because you see like younger people on. I thought I was going to be on coming out of high school, like my first projects. So to like get to this point and I just turned 30 is just like a crazy realization, and it made me think of like Nip and some other people. It's like the league to me. Like if you see somebody come into the league at 28, they either highly seasoned or their journey was just different for them to get there. You feel me? And like hip hop has been, rap has been like a young man's game, but it's like I'm 30 and I'm just now getting to the point where it's like, oh, I'm successful and thriving in here.
Yeah, well, it's different now, man. You got to remember, hip hop is 50 years old. It's not like it was like, cause me and him from the same era, right? It's not like it was when we came in, because it was so new. It was definitely a young man's game. If you was over 26, 27, you wasn't gonna get no, because everybody was looking for a deal back then.
Right.
If you was 27, you was too old at that time. Now, hip hop is 50 years old, and you have cats like yourself, man, who thriving now at 30. You got some cats who thriving at 40, 45, 50. I think it's dope, man. I don't think it's no age limit on hip hop. I think as long as you tight, now if you garbage, you probably go sit down somewhere.
What's crazy though is still that age still exists within the league of it. Like that's the beautiful thing is you could be indie and make it, because like in terms of the system, they're not trying to sign no 32-year-old, 35-year-old. You feel me? Like the longevity of the product doesn't look the same to them. You feel me? So being that we could do it independently, it opens the door to that. But it's still tough, even if you're 35, 36 in this game.
Yeah, but you know what though? I agree with you, but I think it's for different reasons. I just think they can't pull the wool over this man's eyes, because I've been there and seen it before. They can't pull the wool over Richie's eyes because they don't already live through all that right now. So they just he just ain't gonna take anything that you just put in front of his face and sign it. Because they kind of like really, man, it was the fuck 'em over days back then.
Right.
He was going give up the publishing. He was going to have a whole bunch of shit, because they come at cats when they 17 and 18, and they just happy to get a record deal.
Well, a lot of us was in the streets. We didn't have influences to follow behind. A lot of youth, a lot of artists behind us. You have a little model to follow. Whether you can follow somebody's career to see if they got fucked or they made any money or got the right promotion or whatever. We didn't have shit to follow. A lot of us came from the streets. We wasn't knowledgeable about independency and contracts and publishing and all of that. I was in the neighborhood selling crack. You get me? My influences was big time niggas from our neighborhoods, or who you heard about in the streets who was selling the most dope. Those were our influences. I didn't have a Tupac. I didn't have a motherfucking Jay-Z or MC8 or Ice Cube or Snoop Dogg. I didn't have that role model. So,
what was your introduction to rap that made you decide, oh, I could do that? Who was that person?
My introduction to rap was Toddy T. When Todd T was making TDK tapes talking about the Clucks come out at night. And they were rapping off of old Houdini beats and Big Mouth and shit like that. And he was rapping about the Bataram, which shit was going on in the neighborhood. We saw the Bataram came through every day with Daryl Gates and Mayor Tom Bradley and the Raids and all of that. So that's what niggas made songs about. So that's what got us influenced to making records. And as far as being artists and shit, that came from, of course, we was influenced. I listened to Run DMC. I listened to Treacherous 3, Kumo D, Sparky D, Roxanne Shante, UTFO. That was a lot of our influences as far as music is concerned. Grandmaster Flash, The Furious Five, shit like that. But as far as over here, we was all gangbanging. We was all trying to make our point. Our foundation was colors. It wasn't musical shit. And so with dudes like Toddy T and Mixmaster Spade and Easy came along, they basically just was giving us the blueprint of what was going on in the neighborhoods, which was niggas was serving, niggas was getting shot at, jacked, so that's where a lot of our influences came from. Thus you have this West Coast, foundation of music, that was bred here first. Even though we had the Young MCs and shit like that, Tone Loc, and we had the Humpty Dance and shit like that. A lot of our shit was influenced by movies like Colors. That shit was really going on in neighborhoods. As far as I'm concerned, me as a young 14-year-old who was interested in music, because I'm hearing, I'm taking them summer vacations down to Mississippi and places like that, to where my cousins is introducing me to Run DMC and shit like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, niggas over here was rapping about the Batarang kicking in your front door.
Right.
They wasn't rapping about just
Adidas.
sucker MCs and Adidas and shit like that. So thus you had to change. But yeah, and we didn't like my son right now. He got all kind of influences. If he decided he wanted to go do music, shit, I got Kendrick, I got Drake, I got J. Cole, I got my dad, I got, these, Eric B's and Scarfaces. He has a foundation. As far as we was concerned, we had shit. Nigga, I had a crack sack and a 38 strap, and it was get out on the corner and make some money. And within that, we listening to the boom box like, yeah, you hear these niggas spit? That's how our influences came.
It kind of makes sense, though, that your career, because the Bay has always been known for being the independent cats.
Yeah.
You, took the independent game and put it on steroids. You said, I'm going to take what Short and 40 and them did, but I'm just going to take it to a whole nother level, right? And how did you come up with that business model? I think it's dope. I think it's incredible. What made you come up with that business model?
Man, doing business, a bunch of ways that either worked or didn't work. I really got a lot of on-the-job training. Like I didn't have a mentor or anyone who showed me how to do what I do, because it didn't really exist in this format. Like, we seen 40 and Short do it out the trunk, but nobody modernized out the trunk yet.
That's what I'm saying.
From.
You modernized it.
So it was really just doing what works. I just took what we was already doing at the crib and made it global. My pops hustled his whole life, and I'll be with him, and it's like, oh, you ain't got 20? Give me 10 here. Oh, you ain't got 15? Give me 10 here. That's what we do with ticketing, with merch, and there. It's that same exchange. We just brought it to a space where everybody can do it, but that's how it's been the whole time. You feel me? I just put business around what we was already doing.
Yeah, because I was on your site, right, and I saw that you want to buy a ticket. It's like, I want to take my girl and her sister, right? I can say, okay, I'm gonna pay $175. I'm gonna pay $200, but they got the right to say no, that ain't gonna work. Now, do you have to come back to fans sometimes to say, look, man, no, we ain't messing with that?
Yeah, and they understand it because I do a range. I let people witness and experience something this great for $1 sometimes. And they get in that show and it changed their life, because there's no other show they can go to and see a LaRussell and a Richie Rich for $1. So those times where I don't accept $1 because I know I'm worth far more, it's never a knock. People understand it. It's like I can treat people when I decide to, but I can also take care of myself and all that I built, because I deserve that as well. And that's why we created Offer Base, just so everybody has accessibility, but we also have the option to decide whether we want to be accessible that day or not.
That's
on the
dope.
street, we sort of took that model back in the day. Nigga, shit, 3 for 20. I mean,
Right?
shit. I mean,
Right,
if
that's what it
nigga
is.
gonna come, you serving dub sacks, nigga. It's 3 is 60. But fuck it, I'm gonna give you 3 for 50, my nigga. Fuck it, I'm gonna work a deal with
Today.
you. Because you know what? Yeah, today. I got 3 for 50. You get me now? You might come by here tomorrow or something. The homie gonna have 3 for it. That's what it's gonna be. But I guess you want it depends on the relationship you want with the consumer who buying the product.
And that always cultivated your base, because when people know, I ain't got it this time, but I can still go to him because he rock with me, they gonna go always rock with you. And then when they up, they gonna be like, hey, I'm coming to you. You feel me? Like that's the relationship you build with him.
No money and shit, but if I know he done been around here a couple of times,
he good today.
I done sold him a few times. What you got? Man, I got 20 today, but I'm trying to still get that 3. You know something? I'm gonna work with you. Go ahead and take that 3, nigga. Give me that 20. And when you come back the next time, just remember who hooked you up. Bingo. He gonna keep coming to me. He don't want no other product.
We just put that on the internet and built infrastructure around it to make it palatable. That's it. It's that same play.
Yeah, I really fuck with your story though, man. And I see why people are inspired by you. I remember hearing about you talk about when you first decided to leave your job.
Yeah.
And I thought about even with me, man, because dreams don't have no age limit on them. You know what I'm saying? I think your dreams just change as you get older. They kind of, just change a little bit, right? I remember I was fortunate enough to be one of the early people in podcasting. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're going to look at me one day like a forefather. I ain't going to say I'm the forefather ever, but I started hella early. It started early, right? And I remember not knowing where this stuff was going to go. I went from seeing it to just be something that was fun to where you actually started having people started hitting us up like, hey, man, we fucking with what y'all doing, right? And I remember not knowing what to actually ask for because it was so new. You feel what I'm saying? Like when Charlamagne hit me, he was like, well, what y'all want? And I was like, well, damn, let me get back at you, dog.
Yeah.
That's a scary place to be sometimes when you're the first one doing something you don't know what it's worth. Because you don't know what it's worth until it's what it's worth. You feel what I'm saying? It's a scary and a beautiful place to be because you're in a position to determine what it's worth to you. And that's our whole motto. What's it worth to you? It may not be worth that to me, but what's it worth to you? And when you set that determination, like, I got a rule now, like, I've started off my first show, I got paid $100. And as you grow and scale, you start to develop rules for yourself and you determine a worth that's not really a worth, but you know what you're not willing to be valued at. Like now I don't go across the country to the East Coast unless I'm making a certain amount of money because it's like I could stay home and just do this. You feel me? So you start to develop this evaluation of yourself based off your time and what you built. And it's a beautiful spot to be in because no number is real. Like anybody who like, man, this worth 50,000. How? You can never, no number is real. It's all of it is imaginative for us. So we can really decide what we worth at any moment and start charging that right there and then. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I know, how has it been as far as, I know them labels been getting at you.
Yeah, I don't really deal with labels much anymore, but during that early viral phase, it was like, but we were more open then and kind of like, open to the wine. It was such a new process, so it was just like, man, let's see what they want to do. You got to kind of see through the smoke. Now I really only have to deal with labels at my leisure.
Yeah, and it's kind of, they disrespectful sometimes, man. Like what they talking about sometimes, like,
man,
they try to hit you with sometimes, they real disrespectful.
It's because they don't have the same level of attachment that we have. It's just product for them. It's like if he's selling crack, he's not connected to the crack. He's not like, I can't give you this rock.
Exactly.
But we are connected to the art. We like, I can't give you the, you feel me? But for them, it's just product. So it's like they don't see it the same way we see it. So when they send them offers, they really saying, hey, I want 10 of them songs for this amount. But when we receive it, we like, no, this is my intellectual property and how I'm going to get paid for the rest of my life. And I made this, we see something completely different than they see.
You know what I figured out, man, because I was a writer, right? And I remember when I was putting out music, I went to a convention called MIDA in France, in Cannes, France, and it kind of changed my life. I had a friend that owned a distributor down there, Mark Gordon. They owned ground level distribution. So I kind of learned about the distribution game from the back end, right? And then I had a record store, so I did everything in reverse. So when I put out my first record, I'd already had a record store already. I was already dealing with distributors. I knew it was $7 to $8 a record wholesale, right? But then I went out to meet them, and I met all these different distributors from around the world. So I was selling records to them like 1,000, 2,000 pieces at $14 a piece, because what I told them was, well, I don't want the American dollar. I want what it's worth. So I want you to pay me in pounds. Like, so I had a distribution system set up, and that's how I bought my first house. And then I started distributing stuff for the Dog Pound. That's how I met Big A and all of them. I was distributing a lot of stuff for them, but I kind of figured that out back then. And I said, why would somebody ever want a record deal? Because I remember when Glasses, I started helping them out when they first started coming at him. And I was like, bro, this don't make no sense. You can just put this shit out yourself. You hide and just get it like this. It just didn't make no sense to me. When you get that realization, it's a powerful thing, because then you know can't nobody just tell you what you're worth. Because they've been getting over on people for years, man. And I'm so glad now that, and it seems like the youngins now, man, like you, even the NBA young boy cat, man, they like, I'm just gonna do my own shit.
And you know what's crazy? It really be because, like, initially for me, it wasn't even about the business, and I'm sure the same for young boy. We just don't like the restrictions. Like, I hate being, I gotta be able to drop, like our very first label combo was Hit Code, like very early on. And we start talking about a project, and I'm like, I'm finna drop it on this day. And Jaha was like, but that's off cycle, and we need this much time to go to this and this much. And I was already like, that don't work beyond the business, just creatively. It just felt like, I'm at the crib in Vallejo. It ain't no reason I shouldn't be able to drop a song and gotta wait. I didn't understand none of that then. So beyond the business, it just didn't make sense creatively.
You gotta just sit back and wait. Like, I'll let him tell you about his experience, man, with his first deal. Like, when you hear about some of the stuff that these deals, and they sold a lot of records, man. Like, what y'all sell that first album made? Like $500,000?
Probably.
$500,000, and that led them kind of getting going. But then he learned stuff later on, and I let him, kind of go into that, man. But it was real manny back then, man.
Right.
It was real manny back then. Them dudes, I would say the industry owes a lot of big debt, man, to kind of like the forefathers of this stuff. Because,
foundational.
Yeah, because they made a lot of money that they didn't see. They kind of built these big buildings and these big infrastructures that you see. They was kind of built off of gangster rap, man, from the streets.
That's why you see a lot of 30 plus artists just now coming in the do of making residuals and getting payments, because we would sign contracts not knowing shit. Motherfuckers would own shit for 30, 40 years. Like I said, I was 16, 17. Like I said, I was a neighborhood kid. Niggas was making records, and I just thought it would be a cool way to supplement instead of getting out selling crack and shit every day, because everybody was going to jail or getting shot at or that route. So, but we weren't inclined of independency, and had I known that I could put my own record out, definitely that would have been a route with street proceeds and shit like that. But we felt like without that machine, you wouldn't be successful as an artist back then. I mean,
and it's partially true.
The machine, they did everything. You get me? There wasn't really no independent record labels, which there were a gang of them, you know what I'm saying? But as far as we were looking, who was successful from selling records, so it was just a hobby to get into. And then once you start seeing, the materialism in hip hop and what they blind you with a couple of pieces and a couple of little checks, or send you out of town to a fancy dinner or something like that, you get blinded by, mechanical royalties and publishing and owning your own masters and all of that. So a lot of us got fucked out of a lot of shit, you know, ownership of and now you have companies, you know, you look up, you get contacted by companies you did records with 30 years ago and like, oh, we got some royalties for you, you know.
Crazy.
So it's a catch-22, you know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like, because even today, like I think a lot of our legends, right? You look at a Kendrick, a Cole, a Hove, or any of them, would they be who they are if they weren't signed to a major? Right?
Yeah.
So that, like, that role still exists. Like, everybody who, if you go have a conversation of, man, who's the top guys? They're all signed to a major. And that's probably why they're even in the conversation. Like, we're just now getting to a point. Like, I still be shocked at how far I've been able to get without being in the system, because you don't really see it in existence. Like, like even Nipsey's biggest era was with Atlantic.
Right.
Like that was
he had a deal.
You feel me?
Yeah, he had a
but
deal,
even
sure.
before Atlantic, he was with Cinematic and Epic. You know, like it was always a machine and engine behind it. And I always think like, man, if you pull that machine, would some of them be where they are? You know, I've been fortunate to kind of be in this next era of Kendrick and Cole and them, where I've really been able to utilize the internet to my advantage. So I haven't had to use the machine, but even if I was on a machine, it would probably be 50 times bigger, you know? So sometimes I think like, is what you lose in these deals sometimes still worth it if you gain a legacy? Like, so say if I signed you to an album and I took all your royalties, but 20 years later you're still able to do shows and make money, perform and make new music because you have a name that was given to you by this machine, is it then fair, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of people don't get to see that, man. It's a lot of dudes out there that's unstuck right now.
Yeah, it's it all depends, I guess, the position you would put in. Myself, I was fortunate enough to make, you know, be a member of Compton's Most Wanted, and then after that, venture out on my own as a solo artist, being able to do projects like Boys in the Hood, Growing Up in the Hood, you know, which was the #1 single in the country at one time. Being able to portray AWACS and Menace to Society kind of solidified it a little more. And then being able to just make music, you know.
Right.
I think that's a difference between a lot of artists today and back in my era. We were highly favored on trying to make songs that would last through the test of time. Because back then, you know, you had to really prove yourself when it came to lyricism, who was producing your record, who you were signed to, you know. There were no independents, or everything was Sony, Universal, Def Jam, you know, this, that. So we tried to pride ourselves on making songs that would stand the test of time. Thus, I'm able to still go overseas. You know, I just came from a tour overseas for 3 weeks last February in Europe. I've been to Japan 3 or 4 times on tours. I'm still doing shows. I got a show with EPMD and Ice Cube in Detroit next month. So we're able to we're fortunate enough to still be able to stand the test of, but like you said, there was a lot of cats who came from our era who are not, you know, able to go out and do shows, or, you know, I was able to do Grand Theft Auto with San Andreas and the video game with Rockstar Games, you know. I was able to get on Mad City with Kendrick, you know. There's certain artists who are able to withstand the test of time, you know.
Right.
The Cubes, the MC8s, the Snoop Dogs, you know. But there were a lot of artists who came from our era who probably got washed up in a lot of that major label shit.
That's real shit, and you always got to be open, man, to do what's next. Like, you know, it's like now, like even with this podcast,
I could just apply myself. If I do this and do this,
Exactly.
I'm gonna get this. And we be like, nigga, I'm finna go to the military.
Yeah.
Like,
what's
for real.
The easy answer, real quick.
Oh,
nigga,
God.
I ain't trying to take no tests in school or do nothing. What's the easy answer, nigga? Army,
Right.
fucking sign me up. Fuck.
That's it. For real though,
Because
that's how it be.
It really, when you in like poverty and you see struggle, you don't see success for yourself, man. Like I said, you get to a certain point as a kid. Yeah, I'm out there riding my big wheel and getting a little ice cream or whatever. But nigga, 12, 13 start sitting in and you start realizing moms ain't giving up them $5 she used to give me as a kid. I'm out here broke and hungry. Like, what's the choice? Going to school is difficulty because I'm not dumb, but I'm not no motherfucking brainiac, like square root of 2 and all that shit. Now, this motherfucker's in school, like, them motherfuckers is going some, that ain't me. Like, that shit ain't me.
Right.
Like, nigga, I'm basic with my math and English and shit like that. So, you know, you try to find that niche. Some motherfuckers be like, fuck it. And back then, when they had 7-on-7s and all these motherfucking contest kids can go play sports and get 3 and 4 stars.
And I thought that was going to be, it's hard because I played football, right? But I was from the hood, and it took a man to actually take me up out of Cleveland. I'm from the east side of Cleveland. He took me up them hills that I'd never been up. And he said, you know, you play football good enough to where you can really get out of here. But by the time I really realized that and started believing, it was too late and my grades wasn't right. But it still brought me out here to California,
Nigga
right?
Didn't take me nowhere. Nigga, I saw niggas down the street, nigga, with fucking Nissan trucks with the ski racks on them, the big center lines and shit, and the homies had the VW Bugs with the plush in them. Nigga, I was like,
I want one of them.
I'm finna be one of them niggas. It ain't finna be no college scholarship. Ain't talking about no scholarships around here. Niggas ain't coming around here, nigga. You better go grab you a double up 50, nigga, and hit the block.
And you know what's crazy? Like that. The representation does everything. Like, I see the difference in, like, my nephews and the kids in my neighborhood and the kids at my daughter's school when they see me. And I hear the difference in how they speak and communicate when they around. Like, they really see it different because they see somebody successful just in the block, walking around, moving around. So they whole perception of it is different.
Can you see the perception of all of Chris's friends who, when they started as kids and you put them in the youth football and shit like that, niggas going to college and shit.
Yeah.
Niggas got big. Nigga, when I was that age, wasn't nobody going to no motherfucking college and influential.
Right.
And if some of them kids, some of them kids that's in school right now, had I not been in my truck going to go pick them up, they probably might not have got there.
Some of my friends may be still serving. Some of my friends still in prison right now. You get me? As opposed to how Karan had the difference. Nigga, they going to college. Man, niggas got construction jobs.
I made sure my son didn't go through
the refinery.
Exactly.
I made sure my son didn't miss, like how my grades was messed up. I made sure my son went to the best school to where they had the NC2A person in the school, you know, in the athletic department that made sure his grades was right. I made sure when my son got them opportunities and all them colleges was knocking on his door, he was going to be able to go. Because that really hunted me all my life. I was like, man, I could have really went to Ohio State or somewhere, man.
And, you know, you hear people say, you know, what opportunities were available, but a lot of opportunities were available. And like I said, for me, it's a difference now because with the internet and social media and being knowledgeable about certain, like yourself, I'd have never thought of that. Independency and man, put your own fucking records out. Make motherfuckers do this and do that and your value and whatever. Man, I was like, man, I'm trying to get it the hell up out of Compton, man. So whatever it is, sign on the dotted line, let's go. So the influences are different today. You get me? And that's great that some of us went through situations that gave them the ability to go, oh, I ain't getting fucked like that.
Yeah.
I'm not getting fucked like that. I might as well do my own shit before I let a motherfucker come along and take, 90% of what I make, you feel me? And then want to charge me back for the shit and give me fucking 7 cents for the shit that I'm making back for it. You
Getting
feel
the
me?
record dealers like them checking the cash things. You know, them people that go borrow money against their paycheck. They damn near got, that's what a record deal is, man.
That's exactly what it is.
We're gonna put this record out.
And you don't
We're
understand
gonna make 30 million, but we invested motherfucking 10 million, and your portion is fucking 50 cents. And you gonna pay us back, motherfucking. You gonna pay us back 150 cents. Now the project that made about 100 million.
But that's ours.
It's great,
that's
but that's
cut.
ours.
That's our cut.
That's our cut.
You're looking at the wrong cut.
And then you be like, well, wait a minute. I wrote it. I produced it. I motherfucking danced around like a motherfucking clown for it and shit. And after all I did, all I get is 50 cents. Yeah, and you get to keep, like, nigga, you ain't done shit.
That's me.
All of it. Then they still might come and tell you, oh, man, your record has been profitable. But you know what? We gonna let you do another one. That's what they do. They always gonna let you do another one, but we'll let you do another one.
How that be making sense?
Yeah. We done,
how that be making sense?
You get to that 375 edge. We're gonna let you do another one. Mm-hmm. Come on, the 375. That's a little bit of change for us. So we're gonna let you get another one. Now, if you did about 150, you might not get another chance. But 375. A lot of niggas was hitting that 300,000 mark.
Yeah, you gotta remember that's $6-7 a pop though.
Man, come on, man. They like, come on.
Let's
do another one.
Yeah. So what did you do for work before when you first started? What was your regular job?
Man, I worked for UPS. I worked for FedEx. I worked at a winery in Napa.
Them good jobs, dog. Them good gigs.
Hell nah, not when you enter in. Nigga, I was loading the truck. I was a driver helper running around dropping off packages. At the winery, nigga, I had to stump in the bin on grapes at a time. Moved up to like doing pump overs and production, but it was like labor. Then my last job was at Aerospace. I got in there through a temp agency, and I was just on the floor and packaging and laboring and shit. Mm-hmm. I start like reading all their procedures and protocols, and like I changed some shit at the job. They used to like spray paint, stencil all of these like military packages and shit, and it would take forever. And all I did was came in and read all the books because I was lazy. I didn't want to do all that. And I found out that it was like a military grade label that you could buy in this machine. And if you could just use those in lieu of the stencil and up the production like 100x. Like I changed the shit out of that business to the point it was like we was doing more and getting more money in and getting more shit out than ever. And I didn't even realize. So like it got to a point I was asking for a raise, and I'm asking for little money because I always making little money, not even thinking like, bro, you just changed the entire scope. Like, they're going to do this for the next 20, 30 years when you're no longer here. They was doing this for the past 30 years before you came. So it's like I wasn't even really been compensated for what I was doing, but I learned so much I was able to move up to like the administrative floor and work on contracts and shit. I was the only one up there with no degree. And you feel me? I started learning the biz there, and I was making a little bit better money, but it still was like, now that I'm fucking successful and I make money and I actually run a business, it was like, I wasn't making no damn money there. I just thought I was making money because I had more money than every nigga who I was coming up with. You feel me?
And did you ever find yourself at work thinking like, man, I should be on the road right now. I should be doing this right now?
Man, yeah, because I started releasing my albums and my first shows like a year and a half before I quit. So after every single show, I used to have to come back to work on that Monday and just be like, damn.
Did you ever have any coworkers that discovered your secret identity?
Hell of them. I used to get CDs off at the job. Coworkers used to come to shows, and hella people used to tell me like, bruh, you gonna be sincere. You're a little bit better than, So a lot of people knew, but a lot of people didn't know either. But I was always like, even the people who didn't know I did music, they knew I was gonna be something because just on the floor, I was a leader. I moved and navigated a certain way, but. Yeah, a few of them found out, and they start coming to shows and supporting and everything. They knew what was up.
You had that anointing, bro. You had that, the spirit spoke on you, man.
Yeah. And
knew he had something bigger for you, and that's what I think. I think that all our trials and tribulations we go on our journey, man, always prepare us for something. Because I remember I would have something bad happen, and I'd be like, damn, like it's fucked up. But then what I started noticing is that those bad things that happen kind of gave me some knowledge up here, man, and helped me in another situation. And I started thinking, like, I wonder what God got in store for me next. When one door would close, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, because something else is about to happen. And it's always been that way. I know your kids your kids got all the plug full in school now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Oh God, my daughter is like, the school take care of her. Sometimes we'll go pick her up and her teacher will walk her across the street.
There's
There's hella kids out there. Ain't nobody else getting walked, right? But it's a beautiful thing. Like, it's real community. Like, her teachers are from the city too, and they went to high school like with my sister, and they come to shows. Like, it's a group of kids that go to her school that help out with the backyard shows, and like we got like a little volunteer program that one of our members set up. So it's like it's real community. But yeah, she gets special treatment at school.
Man, you might mess around and be inspiring the next Jimmy Iovine or something right in your backyard. You just never know, bro. Because I look at, even when I ran my little football program, I see kids that's out there like balling right now. Some of them in the NFL and stuff. And I be like, damn, I remember when I picked that little dude up, he was crying.
You knew he was a
and
monster.
I kind of made him stay. You know what I mean? Like certain little kids, and you can see it in them before they see it in themselves. And you like, damn, man.
And all it takes sometimes is one person to care. Like we be going to my old high schools, and we found a few kids that we really just changed their life by just being a presence and just a day and caring and bringing them to the crib and, hey, hop on there, you can rap, getting this out, just being in a community. Like, you really change people's lives when you successful and you in the community that you from, because they see you every day. Just like, it's not a dream no more. It makes the reality feel like the only reason niggas even consider the army is because we know so many niggas who in the army.
Yeah,
So it's like when you see a bunch of people who like, he's successful, he made it, that starts to become your norm.
What is it, man, that you like? What's next for you? Like, what's the next level for you? What you trying to do next?
Man, I really like, I'm living a version of my life that I never thought was possible at one point. So really, I just wake up every day and do the work, and whatever comes from that, I be good with. I don't even shoot too far ahead. I know that if I show up and do everything I need to do, whatever is next gonna end up in front of me.
That's the best thing to do. I learned to really live in the present too, and not really think so far.
You don't look to the future.
Yeah.
You don't know what's promised. So right now, you just try to handle business that's in your face and your presence right now. Make sure kids and family is straight, household is good, and whatever gonna come. When you know when you know you're doing motherfuckers right, you don't really fear a lot of bullshit and a lot of mishaps to come, negativity, especially when you weed the negativity out. So from there, you can try to just pace yourself. Like me, I don't, like, is a nigga gonna call me next week to do a movie? I don't know, but I'm not tripping off that shit because like you said, I wake up every day and I'm cool. If I ain't got to do a motherfucking thing today, but sit here and watch Sports Center all day, I'm straight. I don't put myself in a position to go, God damn, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta this, or they doing that, or maybe I should try something. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm comfortable and I know like those three aspects are good, then what else can you control? You get me? It's either gonna happen or it ain't gonna happen. And I'm one of them type that I hate anticipating shit. Don't tell me about nothing. Either it's gonna happen or it's not. You feel me?
And I have a lot of faith in my action. I know if I plant an apple seed today, at someday I'm gonna be able to eat some apples.
Exactly.
I don't know when that day gonna come, but I know the day gonna come where I'm gonna be able to eat some apples, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with just watering it every day until that day comes.
And you got a roster over there too at Goodcompenny, right?
Man, I got some monsters. The whole team, not even just the artists, like the whole team, from every position is like the best in their field. Like we really, me and Tieta is both two kids she from Clear Lake. I'm from Vallejo, California. It's no infrastructure in either of those spots. It's not a lot of successful people from either one. And we in rooms with Snoop showing him like, hey, this some infrastructure and technology we built. You feel me? Like I got shakers all the way up the line.
That's dope, man. You know what? The next time y'all come down here, man, we want you to bring some of them spitters down here, man. 'Cause me and them got a radio show we gonna start doing next year, man. 2025, man. We want y'all to come down and bust, man.
Let me know.
Let me
know.
Bust. I might fuck around and get the.
Come on, let me know.
Man.
That's official.
Man, I'm really glad, man, that you came down here to rock with us, man. When Nicole told me you was gonna do it, I said, yeah, man, this is on the popping, man, right there. Now. You know it's going to be a lot of people, man, that you inspire listening to this right now. What you got to say to them right now, man? Give them some words, man.
There's a lot of artists who might not know the right path to take. Because dudes ask me all the time, up and coming artists, you know, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to get my foot in the door, you know, what type, and I always tell dudes to try to connect where they from, you know, so, you know, that's one of the advices I give to artists coming up. Try to get the people where you from behind you in that aspect, the people who really believe in you. That's one of the things I try to say to artists. So, you know, we like to ask people, you know, what's that one thing that you would, one advice that you would give to somebody, you know, starting from where you started, you know. If you see, you know, this artist, man, I remember I used to do that, or I used to do that, you know, what's advice you would give them?
Be relentless. He who is willing is who will. I'm really I'm independently major. You know, I get to use the same platform, same infrastructure. There's not too many. There's some major artists that, you know, inside by side, they can't sell as many tickets at me and haven't cultivated what I cultivated. And it's because I was willing to do whatever it took to get to where I wanted to get. I meet a lot of artists now who was like, oh, but I don't want to post every day. Oh, but I don't want to shoot content like that. Oh, but I don't want to do the interview. But I'd rather, you feel me? And it's like, well, you don't want to win. You know? And if you don't want to do those things, then you got to be willing to find something that you are willing to do to get there. And if that don't exist, then you just keep complaining about the predicament and position. But me, it was like, I'm still to this day, you know, like, I'm successful when I still go out, show up here, go do that. I'ma still show up and do my work because I want it. You know, where I'm trying to get to is like, I know there's a certain amount of work required to get to that point, and I'm willing to do every bit of it. And if the day I'm not willing to do it, I don't expect to win. You know, simple as that. And I think that's what's been missing. And today it's like people, because we get to witness people make it so fast and it looks so fast to us, we try to replicate that instead of replicating process. Instead of doing everything they did to get there, we just want the result of them there.
Instant. Yeah.
You feel me? And it's because we get to bear witness to it. We see people go viral one day and then their life change, and we're like, man, that's gonna happen for me. And it's like, maybe if you want to rely on them eyes, but if you don't want to have to rely on a maybe, get your ass up every day and shoot. And then you know, like I don't really have a maybe in me. Like, man, I might make. That's not a thing to me. It's like I know I'm gonna make it because I do it every day.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna get up and go do it. Like,
you heard?
That's just it. There's no, you got to be willing. If you ain't willing, then shit, you might as well just go ahead and sit back and ride.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Try something else, man.
For real. Well, y'all heard the man right there. Get up off your ass and go do it.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Jim,
we out of here.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you, bro.
Man, mutual.
Let's go get this. Let's go get these pictures.
Let's
man.
do it. This is great.
Pictures, man, for sure, man.
Yeah.
yeah, we good.
Damn, why you ain't telling me? Hands up there.
Right.
What is that?
One, two,
Nah, I was just wondering if I should get a Red Bull.
moment.
I'm proud of your thing, man. I'm watching
Hey,
this.
man, can I get one man, you know, like, make sure y'all catch me this thing on Gangster Chronicles?
Yeah. You ready for me?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You heard? We outside. LaRussell here. Gangster Chronicles. It's different. Tune in.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate y'all, man.
Love,
I appreciate
brother. I
y'all, man.
appreciate it, man.
I'm at
This
the
is dope.
I want to come up there, man. We gonna pull up there to one of them shows. man.
Yeah, I want you to come get busy. Go ahead, come play.
Yeah.
Come play.
Still hook it up. Let's get it cracking.
Don't tell us. He'll mess around and be up there, man.
We like to play. Let's get busy.
Yeah, I see you got Richie up there and all that doing.
Man, I got Spice coming. We closing the
That's
year
my
out.
dude, man. That's my
Man,
dude.
we got some crazy shit
Yeah,
coming.
You got Spice
love that
came up there
shit.
with you?
Man, Spice came and got down. We finna do a joint show. Me, him, Rich. It's going
That's
down.
gonna be
Yeah, the
hard,
Spice
man.
shit was cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cracking.
Yeah.
That would be tight. Ooh, ain't going up there doing that.
That
Man,
nigga at 187. That nigga was on it too.
Went crazy.
man, Spice is so vicious stealing the microphone. Man.
Right.
He is so motherfucking
Right.
vicious though.
Man.
Spice is vicious. I saw him. He was on the homie show, man. He fucking around and did that. One of these smooth criminal way he flipped it. I be like, this nigga Spice still has.
Nice to meet you.
I thought you called my name.
I bet.
Man. How long
Yeah.
you been on for?
Till the 20th. We got hella like interviews, PR sessions. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Man, you stay on your grind.
Come on, man. I want it. I want it. You know, we really trying to figure out how high we can take it.
That's what you can't never. You can't never get to the place, man, where you get tired. You get tired of like today was. I know, like it be sometimes, man. Especially when you start getting some success, man, you be sitting at home in that nice crib, man, you know, looking at that TV on the thing, you be feeling like, man, that's why sometimes I be had to get on him, man, like, we need to go in the studio, dog. We done been doing too many remotes, man. We gotta get back to it, you know. You get so used to going up to that bedroom, you got to set up in your room now, be like, yeah, we here.
Right.
But no, man, I gotta go.
Yeah, I still like, I love to hustle. I love to hunt.
You got to, man.
I love to go get it. That's the passion for me.
You got to, man.
Love.
Serious, man.
Thank you.
Come back, dog. We got that
No,
radio show. Bring that
easy.
with you, bro.
Easy. We'll be back.